Hello, sparrows. Part of my new life of reading to you every day is that I bring a book with me whenever I'm walking Django on my nature walks in case I find somewhere really beautiful to read to you. And so today I've brought you to my own enchanted wood because I'm going to read you a little bit of the enchanted wood. And I wanted to bring you to this special place that I found one day. It's down here, and I think it will be a really good place for me to read to you. So I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, so all of these leaves and beautiful buds are popping, so I almost couldn't find my way. So here we are. Are you ready? It's kind of exciting, so I want to swing the camera around. It took me a while to find it because now it's so well camouflaged now that it's spring. Someone has built this beautiful, look at that. Oh my gosh, in the wintertime, there weren't very many sticks here. So I think someone, maybe they're pixies or elves and fairies, the magic folk of the forest, have been building this beautiful structure. And someone has put this lovely sign. So I thought this would be a really lovely place to read a story, and it looks to me like somebody placed a storytelling rock to sit on. Can you believe it? So I'm going to sit there. Just going to put my bag down. Whoops, there we are. Can you hear the birds singing? Okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read to you. I don't really know if I can make the camera turn around. Maybe I'm just going to put it like that while I read. How about that? Maybe you might see some creatures hop by while I'm reading. I have no idea. I'm sorry if it's a bit wibbly wobbly. Okay, are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably? Are you in your comfy spots? Okay. Get yourself cozy. Maybe pour yourself a nice thimbleful of forest tea. What have you got on your nose, Django? Yeah. Did you get it off? Come here, sweetie. Come here, sweetie. There we go. You got spider web on your nose. Were you foraging? You were foraging. You want to listen to the story, Django? Okay. So remember yesterday that the children had, well, not yesterday, the other day when we were by the river as the sun went down in the west, the children had discovered the faraway tree. And they had met the elves who told them that if they need anything, they can come to the forest and whistle 6 times, I think. And then they would come and meet them. So it's the next day, and the children have woken up, and they're very, very, very excited because they know they can go back to the forest. So they ran down the back garden and out of the little gate at the end. They stood still in the overgrown narrow lane and looked at one another. It was the first big adventure of their lives. What were they going to see? What were they going to do? They jumped over the ditch and into the wood. At once they felt different. Magic was all around them. The birds sounded different. The trees once again whispered secretly to one another. Wish-a, 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 wish-a. Oh, said Franny, listen to the magic of the forest. Come on, said Joe, going down the green path. Let's find the faraway tree. They followed him. He went on until he came to the oak tree under which they had sat before. There were the 6 toadstools on which the elves had their meeting, though now the toadstools looked rather brown and old. Beth said, "Oh, which is the way now?" None of them knew. They set off down a little path, but they soon stopped, for they came to a strange place where the trees stood so close together that they could go no farther. So they went back to the oak tree. "Oh, let's go the other way," said Beth. So they set off in a different direction. But this time they came to a curious pond, whose waters were pale yellow and shone like butter. Beth did not like the look of the pond at all. So the 3 of them went back once more to the oak tree. "Oh, this is too bad," said Franny. "Just when we've got a whole day to ourselves in the forest and we can't find the faraway tree." "I'll tell you. I have an idea," said Joe. "Remember, the elves said we could call them. They said we can call them whenever we wanted them." "Oh, that's right," said Franny. "Okay, so let's see if we can remember. We had to stand under this oak tree, right? And whistle 7 times. "That's it," said Beth. "Come on, let's all whistle 7 times. So they stood beneath the thick green leaves of the old oak, and they whistled 7 times loudly. I would whistle 7 times loudly, but I'm not a very good whistler, and I think Django would be super duper confused. Right, Djang? Yeah. Do you like this story, Django? Do you like this story? Do you? Yeah. Okay, so the children waited. They waited not for long. In about half a minute, a rabbit popped its head out of a nearby rabbit hole and stared at them. "What do you want?" said the rabbit, in a rabbit sort of strange voice. The children stared in surprise, for they had never heard an animal speak before. The rabbit put his ears up and spoke again rather crossly. "Are you listening to me? What's the matter? What do you want?" I said. We would like to speak to one of the elves," said Beth. The rabbit turned and called down the hole, "Mr. Whiskers, Mr. Whiskers, there's someone wanting you." There came a voice shouting something in answer, and then one of the 6 elves squeezed out of the rabbit hole and stared at the children.
Sorry to be so long," he said. One of the rabbit's children isn't feeling very well, so I was just down there seeing that if I could help."
"Oh," said Beth, "that's very kind of you."
"Well, sometimes we call it the weasels. We call it the weasels in the forest when rabbit children aren't feeling very well. And weasels, the rabbit children just like to cuddle up in their little beds, and I read them a story."
And then he grinned, a big grin at the children, and said,
And now that rabbit child is feeling much better after a lovely, lovely elf story."
And Franny said, "Oh, that's very good, Mr. Elf, and we're so sorry to bother you at your important storytelling time. We just wanted to ask you the way to the faraway tree because we've totally forgotten the way and we're a bit lost."
"Oh, well, I'll take you,"
said Mr. Whiskers, whose name was really a very good one, for his beard reached down to his toes, and sometimes he trod on it, and this jerked his head downward suddenly when he was walking. Well, Beth wanted to laugh when that happened, but she thought she'd better not, because she thought that was impolite, which is right. She wondered why he didn't tie it around his waist, out of the way of his feet. Perhaps she thought she would mention that next time. Mr. Whiskers led the way between the dark trees. At last he reached the trunk of the enormous faraway tree.
"Here you are," he said. "Are you expecting someone down it today?"
Well, no," said Joe. We rather really wanted to go up it ourselves."
"Go up it yourselves?"
said Mr. Whiskers in horror.
"Don't be silly. It's dangerous up there. You don't know what might be at the top. You know, there's a different place almost every single day."
"Oh," said all the children. "Well, we're going anyway," they all said defiantly. And they folded their arms and leaned against the trunk of the tree.
"Oh," said Mr. Whiskers. All right then. You take your chances and I shall fetch my brothers and get you down again when you're done. Good luck. I hope you have fun, but please be careful. It's so dangerous. It is so dangerous."
And off he went. "Oh," said Beth, do you suppose it is all right if we go up?" And Joe and Franny said, "Come on, Beth. Come on. We're only going to see what's at the top. We'll just go and have a look. We won't necessarily go off the tree at the top. We're just going to go and have a look." All right then. And the three of them started to haul themselves up onto the first branch of the tree. Well, it doesn't look very difficult to climb up," said Beth. "All right then, soon we're going to be at the top." But it wasn't as easy as they thought, as you will see in the next chapter. So thank you for joining Django Shadowhound and I in the beautiful Enchanted Forest, in our lovely hidden little theatre. This can be our storytelling theatre. There we are. It's right in the middle of the forest. I don't think many people know that it's here. Okay. Goodbye, sparrows. See you soon. Django says goodbye.